Okay, so my name's Ethan Miller. I'm 24. I live out here in the suburbs of New York. Pretty chill place. You know, lawns are always cut, everyone says hi, standard stuff. I'm doing college part-time, mostly online, and I pick up shifts at the local library. Life's just flowing, I guess. Like Miller's Lake on a day when there's no wind, just the surface reflecting the sky. No big waves, no drama. That's how I like it. I got a sister, Lily. She's 20 now, and her best friend, Brooke, she's the same age. Those two, man, they're always around. Always. It's like they're glued to my hip, or maybe I'm glued to theirs. You know those old trees, the ones whose roots and branches just grow into each other? You can't tell where one starts and the other ends? That's kind of us. I love them, really. They're my people. They've been there for me through everything. Seriously, everything. Especially after that whole mess at the lake 8 years ago. That's a story. I remember it so clearly. Or I think I do. I was 16, summer heat, everyone was at Miller's Lake. I was out there, swimming, trying to show off, probably. Then it hit, a Charlie horse, right in the calf. It locked up hard, like someone had tied a knot in my muscle. Next thing I knew, I was going down. Legs wouldn't move. My lungs were burning. Water was filling my mouth, my nose. I was thrashing, clawing at nothing. It felt like I was sinking forever, just watching the sunlight dim above me, the water getting darker and colder. Then I saw them, Lily and Brooke. They were on the shore, screaming my name. Their faces, they were white, like paper. They were yelling, waving their arms, completely freaking out. I kept going down, coming up, coughing up water, then down again. I thought, this is it. This is how it ends. But then Lily just went for it. She dove in. I saw her kick and pull through the water straight for me. She grabbed me, somehow. She was strong even then. She pulled me to the surface, dragged me back to shore. It was a blur after that, a lot of coughing, shivering, people rushing over. If it wasn't for her, I swear, I'd be fish food right now, no doubt. After that, everything changed. Lily and Brooke, they became my shadows. They were always there. Not in a bad way, not really. But every meal, every outing, every time I just wanted to chill in my room, one of them would pop up. Ethan, are you warm enough? Ethan, did you eat? Ethan, you look tired. You should rest. It was constant. Sometimes, yeah, it felt a little much, like a heavy blanket on a hot day. But I always told myself it was because they felt bad. Guilty, maybe. They saw me almost die. They probably felt like they didn't do enough, or that they panicked too much. So all this extreme care, this intense watching, it was their way of making up for it. Showing how much they loved me, how sorry they were for that moment of fear. I figured that's just how it worked. The price of being loved that fiercely, you know? So I never pushed back, never said anything. Deep down, sometimes I'd get this weird feeling, like there was this invisible string connecting me to them, but also holding me in place, like a leash almost. But then I'd shake my head. No, just my brain playing tricks. I was probably just being sensitive. Overthinking, as usual. We're family. They love me. End of story. I used to think back on that day at the lake, and I'd always picture them as my guardian angels, my brave little sister, my loyal friend. They sacrificed their teenage years. I felt it. While other kids were out at parties, Lily and Brooke were often with me, making sure I was okay, fussing over me. I remembered Lily sneaking me cookies when Mom wasn't looking, or Brooke bringing over my favorite cheesy horror movies when I had a cold. They'd stay up with me, making stupid jokes, just to keep me company. I always felt lucky, like genuinely, ridiculously lucky to have them. But lately, I've been having these dreams. Not the screaming and waking up kind of nightmares, more like fragments, little broken pieces of memory, blurry around the edges. It's always the lake, always that cold, cold water. And then a shape, a silhouette, standing on the shore. Just standing. Not moving, not waving, not yelling. Just a dark outline against a hazy light. I can never make out a face, never hear a sound. Then everything just cuts out, abruptly. And I wake up with this gnawing, uncomfortable feeling, like I've forgotten something important, something bad. It lingers, like a bad taste in my mouth, all day. I try to shake it off, just dreams, right? One afternoon, it was pouring rain, the kind that makes the whole world outside look gray and watery. I was in my room, trying to get some studying done for my online class. The door was cracked open a bit. I looked up, just stretched my neck, and that's when I saw them. Lily and Brooke. They were standing in the hallway, about 10 feet from my door. They weren't looking at me, not exactly. Their eyes were fixed on something inside my room, something I couldn't see. Their faces, they didn't have any expression. Blank, like someone had wiped them clean. It was a weird look, like they were watching something incredibly interesting, or maybe something they knew they shouldn't be looking at. Just for a second, a shiver went down my spine, cold and sharp. My heart did a weird little stutter. But then I turned my head properly, and they both jumped, literally flinched. And then a second later, they were smiling, big, bright smiles. "Hey, big brother, need some coffee? We were just wondering." Their voices were a little too bright, a little too quick. That moment, that split second of them just watching, it left a tiny, cold knot in my stomach. But I pushed it down. "Ethan, you're just being paranoid. Again." Another time, Lily was asking me to help her clear out some old stuff from her desk drawers. She's not exactly organized, bless her heart. I was pulling out old school papers, dried up markers, when my fingers brushed against a thin, hardcover notebook. It looked really old, like from when she was little. No, I didn't mean to snoop, but it fell open. And there it was, a drawing. Crude, childish, but I recognized it instantly. A stick figure in the water, arms flailing, tiny circles around its head to show bubbles, like it was drowning. And on the shore, 2 other stick figures, standing, just standing. No frantic lines, no open mouths to show screaming, just 2 straight lines for bodies, 2 circles for heads. Blank faces. And underneath, scrawled in Lily's familiar, loopy handwriting, just 3 words. Just a little longer. My blood ran cold. My hands started shaking slightly, just enough that I had to grip the edge of the desk. My throat felt dry. Just a little longer. What the hell did that mean? The drawing, the blank faces, it wasn't how I remembered them. It wasn't the panic. My mind raced, trying to find an explanation. Maybe she was drawing something else, a game? Kids draw weird things all the time, right? Just a child's imagination. But that sentence, just a little longer, it echoed in my head, cold and clear. I slammed the notebook shut, a little too loudly. My heart was pounding now, a frantic drum in my chest. I quickly stuffed it back into the drawer, trying to act like I hadn't seen anything, pretending that unsettling chill creeping up my neck wasn't there. Just a drawing, just a kid's drawing, nothing, right? Okay, so after that whole notebook thing with Lily's messed up drawing, man, it was like a tiny crack showed up in this big solid wall I'd built in my head. You know, the one where everything was fine, everything made sense. Now I just felt off, all the time. Those little moments, the blurry dreams, the blank stares from Lily and Brooke, they weren't just glitches anymore. They felt like pieces of something bigger, something I couldn't quite see, but knew was there, just lurking. I'd catch myself staring out the window, totally zoning out, just replaying the lake incident in my head, over and over. Not the clear memory, But those weird fragments from my dreams, the ones where things didn't quite add up, it was like a loop, you know? And the more I thought about it, the more I couldn't shake this heavy feeling, like a stone in my gut. And Lily and Brooke, their care felt different now. Before, I just brushed it off as them being, well, them. But now, it was like a net, pulling tighter. Every time I stepped out, every time I went to the library, I'd get a text. "Hey, where are you, Ethan?" Or, "Just checking in, everything good?" Then a call. "You okay? You sounded weird on the text." Like, damn, give me some space, right? I'm 24, not 12. It used to be sweet, kind of. Now it was just a lot, like a suffocating amount. I'd try to laugh it off, make some joke about them being my personal security detail, but inside, I was just annoyed, pissed off even. But I never showed it, just kept that easy smile glued on. Gotta keep the peace, you know? But the questions, they started bubbling up. Why were they really doing this? Was it just guilt? Or something else? That thought was a cold shiver down my spine, even on a warm day. I didn't like it. Didn't like it one bit. But I couldn't stop asking myself. One rainy afternoon, I was scrolling through some old files on my laptop. Just random stuff, trying to clear out space. Then I saw it. A video file from 8 years ago. Summer. Miller's Lake. It was just a short clip. I guess Dad took it from the shore. Nothing dramatic, just a sunny day, people swimming, boats. I clicked it. My stomach dropped a little. The light, the way the water shimmered, it hit me like a weird, vague memory. Not the accident itself, but the before, the calm, the easy feeling. I leaned closer to the screen, my eyes scanning the background, looking for, I don't know what, just looking. And then, there they were. Far off in the distance, near the edge of the screen, almost out of frame. 2 figures, small, blurry, definitely 2 girls. And they were standing, just standing there, watching the water. Not running, not frantic, just still, like statues. The video quality sucked, I told myself. It was too far away to tell. It had to be my imagination. My mind playing tricks again, twisting things, right? I closed the video, a knot forming in my chest. Yeah, definitely just my mind. But the feeling, it stuck, like someone had smudged something on my brain. And then, the feeling of being watched started, like, really watching. At the library, I'd be shelving books, minding my own business, and I'd get this prickle on the back of my neck, like eyes. So I'd turn around, quick, nothing, just empty aisles. At college, I'd be walking across campus, and I'd hear a faint, soft step right behind me. I'd whip around, but no one, just the usual students. It was getting creepy, like actually creepy. Even at home, walking down the hallway to my room, a shadow would flicker at the edge of my vision. I'd spin, heart thumping, nada. Just the wall, the coat rack, the same old stuff. But the feeling? It just lingered, always. I started sleeping less, waking up in the middle of the night, sheets damp with cold sweat, my heart doing a marathon in my ribs. It was exhausting. I even did something stupid. I tracked down a few old neighbors, people who used to live near Miller's Lake. I played it casual, you know. "Hey, how's it going? Haven't seen you in ages." Tried to ask about the accident, vaguely. They remembered an accident, yeah, but not mine specifically. Just that some kid almost drowned. But when I steered the conversation to Lily and Brooke, things got weird. They'd smile, a bit too wide. Oh, those 2? Good girls, always together, like 2 peas in a pod. Then, if I pushed a little, asked what they were like back then, their eyes would shift. Suddenly they had to go, had to water their plants, check on dinner. Evasive, every single one of them. It was like there was an unspoken rule, a secret everyone knew but me. It made my skin crawl. What the hell were they not telling me? And then the stuff started moving. Small things. My copy of Dune I was reading last night, I'd left it open on my nightstand. Woke up, it was closed, lying face down, pages dog-eared at a completely different spot. My phone. I swear to God I left it on my desk before bed. Woke up, it was under my pillow. I mean, what the actual fuck? At first, I just thought, oh, I'm getting old, I'm distracted. But then it happened with my keys, my wallet, my damn glasses. Almost every day, something. It wasn't just misplacing things anymore. It was like someone was messing with me. A sick, twisted game. It gave me goosebumps. My hair stood on end every single time. One night, I was home alone. Lily and Brooke were out somewhere, no idea where. Just me, the quiet house, and the rain tapping on the window. My phone buzzed. I picked it up, expecting a text from Lily asking if I wanted pizza. But it was an unknown number, just one line. "Don't you remember, Ethan?" My blood froze, like someone had poured ice water straight into my veins. My fingers fumbled, dropping the phone on the bed. I snatched it up, my heart hammering against my ribs. I tried to call back. No answer, just a dead line. My mind was screaming. Who the hell was that? What did they mean? I texted Lily, then Brooke. Did you guys send me a text from a weird number? They both replied instantly, like they were waiting. No, why? What are you talking about, E? Their responses were a little too fast, a little too innocent. I don't know. Maybe it was just some prank, some sick joke. But the way it felt heavy, like a warning. My head was pounding, splitting open. I felt like I was losing it. And the dreams? Oh man, the dreams. They became real, too real. I was back in the water, the cold, suffocating weight pressing down on me, my lungs screaming for air. This time, there was no blur, no hazy light. I saw them. Lily, Brooke, clear as day, standing on the shore. And they weren't screaming. They weren't frantic. They were just watching. Their faces were blank, just like that night in the hallway. But then, a slow, chilling curve on their lips. A tiny, almost imperceptible smirk. Like they were amused. Or maybe waiting. I shot upright in bed, gasping for air, drenched in sweat. My heart was going 1,000 miles an hour, trying to bash its way out of my chest. My throat was dry, burning. I slapped myself, hard. Wake up, Ethan. It's just a dream. Just a goddamn dream. But the image of their faces, that slow, cold smirk, it burned behind my eyelids. And now, I wasn't just questioning them. I was questioning everything. My own memories, my sanity. What if that wasn't a dream? What if that was what really happened? The thought was a cold, cruel hand squeezing my throat. And I knew, deep down, that the flimsy wall I'd built to protect myself was crumbling, piece by terrible piece. Okay, so after all that crap, the notebook, Lily's drawing, those messed up dreams, man, I was pretty much losing it. My brain felt like a broken record, just skipping over the same few terrifying tracks. The care from Lily and Brooke felt like a weight, heavy and suffocating, wrapping around me tighter every day. The creepy texts, the stuff moving around the house, the neighbors doing that weird eye shift thing, it was too much, way too much. I couldn't just brush it off anymore. The wall in my head, the one I'd built with all those excuses and fake memories, it wasn't just cracked, it was crumbling, big chunks falling off, revealing God knows what behind it. I barely slept. My eyes had permanent dark circles, like someone had punched me in the face and forgotten to clean up the bruise. I lost weight. My clothes felt loose, hanging off me like I was a coat hanger. Every little sound made me jump. Every shadow made me flinch. My own reflection looked like a stranger, all hollowed out and paranoid. I didn't trust anything. Not the floorboards that creaked, not the quiet hum of the fridge, and definitely not the faces of the two people I was supposed to love more than anything. Hell, I didn't even trust my own damn brain anymore. It felt like it was actively working against me, twisting everything, making me doubt my own sanity. I knew I couldn't live like this. This constant unease, this feeling like I was walking on eggshells in my own life. It was like a cage. A really pretty, meticulously decorated cage, but a cage nonetheless. I needed answers. I had to know what the hell was going on. This wasn't just some random bad luck. This felt orchestrated, like a really long, really twisted play. And I was the main character who hadn't gotten the script. So I figured maybe someone out there had a copy. One afternoon, it was raining, that kind of cold, steady drizzle that just makes everything feel heavier. I was at my usual coffee spot downtown, just trying to zone out, sipping a lukewarm latte, staring at the raindrops sliding down the window. My head was still buzzing with all the crap from the night before, that dream where their faces were all blank and smirking. Like, what the actual fuck was that? I was trying to push it down, trying to make some sense of it, trying to convince myself it was just stress, just me overthinking everything. But it wasn't working. The buzzing just got louder. Well, well, if it isn't Ethan Miller! I nearly jumped out of my skin. My heart did that stupid flip-flop thing it'd been doing lately. I spun around, coffee sloshing. Standing there, holding a steaming mug, was old Mr. Joe. Joe, the retired park ranger from Miller's Lake. He looked older, a bit grayer, but still had that same friendly, crinkly smile. "Mr. Joe," I managed, trying to sound normal, like my world wasn't imploding. "Wow, long time no see." He laughed, a rusty, warm sound. "Indeed, son. Haven't seen you around these parts since you were just a pup, really. How's that lovely sister of yours? And her little friend, Brooke, right?" My gut tightened, like a fist clenching inside me. Yeah, they're good. Just busy with college stuff, I forced a smile, feeling it stretch awkwardly across my face. We chatted for a bit, just catching up, talking about the old neighborhood, how things had changed. He seemed totally oblivious, just a sweet old guy reminiscing. I tried to steer the conversation, casually, like I was just curious. I was just thinking about Miller's Lake the other day. Remember that summer? I almost drowned there." He squinted, then his eyes widened in recognition. "Oh, the Miller boy. Yes, I remember that. Lucky you were, son. Lucky indeed." He took a slow sip of his coffee, his gaze drifting off, probably back to that sunny day 8 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday, actually. It was a clear day, bright as anything. I was doing my rounds, checking the other side of the lake, when I heard some shouting. Not really a scream, more like high-pitched yelling. Ran over there as fast as I could. My breath caught in my throat. This was it. This was the moment. My hands, resting on the table, felt cold, clammy. I didn't dare make a sound. Got there, and sure enough, there you were, bobbing up and down. Couldn't catch your breath, I guess. And those two girls, he paused, tapping his chin. Those two little girls, Lily and, what was her name? Brooke, right? They were just standing on the shore, just standing there. The words hit me like a physical blow. Just standing there, not screaming, not frantic. My vision blurred for a second, the image from my dream flashing in front of my eyes. "You went down a few times, Mr. Joe continued, completely unaware of the earthquake he was causing inside me. I honestly thought they were watching some kind of show or something, just totally still. I was about to jump in myself, figured they were frozen with fear, poor things. But then I saw the blonde one, Lily. She finally jumped in. Real strange, that was." He took another slow sip. My blood felt like ice in my veins. Real strange. It wasn't just me. Someone else saw it too. Yeah, Mr. Joe mumbled, still lost in thought. Something about it always stuck with me. What was it now? Oh, right. When she pulled you out, I remember this clearly. She wasn't scared, not really. Not like a normal person would be, you know. She was strangely calm. Strangely calm. The words echoed in my head, reverberating, bouncing off the crumbling walls of my carefully constructed memory. Strangely calm. It wasn't just a crack anymore. It was a goddamn demolition. The entire defense mechanism, the whole intricate story I'd built to explain their suffocating care as guilt and love, it shattered, like a pane of thin glass, exploding into a million sharp, jagged pieces. I stared at nothing, the rain still tapping against the window pane, a dull, relentless rhythm that matched the hammering in my chest. Strangely calm. The image was vivid now, terrifyingly clear. Lily and Brooke standing on the shore, not screaming, not running, but just watching, like some twisted performance. And they weren't rescuing me out of fear, they were waiting. Waiting for what? For me to go down one last time? A cold wave washed over me. Not the cold of the lake that day, not the terror of drowning, but a chill that seeped into my bones, a deeper, more insidious kind of cold. The cold, brutal truth about people, about them. I felt like someone had just dumped a bucket of ice water directly onto my soul. If it wasn't guilt, if it wasn't love, then what the hell was all that care for the past 8 years? And why would they do it? Why would they just stand there and watch me drown? I looked down at my coffee. It was stone cold. My world just exploded into gruesome fragments, and the most horrifying question clawed its way out of my throat, raw and desperate. Are they going to do it again? The cafe sounds, the gentle murmur of conversations, the clinking of cups, it all faded into a dull roar in my ears. I mumbled some excuse to Mr. Joe. Joe, my voice sounding distant, like it belonged to someone else. I needed to get out, needed to breathe, needed to run. The rain was coming down harder when I finally got back to the house. The quiet was too quiet. It felt heavy, pressing down on me, like the water had that day. My mind was still reeling, replaying Mr. Joe's words, turning them over and over, trying to find a crack, a loophole, any way to twist them back into something normal. But there was nothing, just the brutal, terrifying clarity. I pushed open the front door. The air inside felt thick, stagnant. I walked into the living room, my steps heavy, my heart doing a frantic drum solo against my ribs. And there they were, Lily and Brooke, sitting on the sofa, facing the door, both of them looking directly at me. On the coffee table in front of them, a small cake. A single candle flickered on top, casting dancing shadows across their faces. My stomach clenched. "Oh, Ethan, you're just in time," Lily chirped, her smile sweet, too sweet, like something out of a horror movie. But her eyes, there was a strange, unsettling gleam in them. Brooke just smiled, a thin, almost invisible curve of her lips. She was holding a small cake knife, just tracing patterns on the frosting with the tip, playing with it. "In time for what?" My voice was a dry, rasping whisper. It barely sounded like me. Lily giggled, a sound that used to comfort me, but now felt like tiny needles pricking my skin. "Why, to celebrate, of course. Celebrate that you finally remembered. We've been waiting so long for you to remember, big brother." I stared at them, at the cake, at the flickering candle, the words from Mr. Joe, the dreams, the anonymous text, the moving objects, the evasive neighbors. It all slammed into me. The puzzle pieces clicked into place, forming a picture so grotesque, so utterly horrifying, I wanted to claw my own eyes out. Brooke slowly, deliberately put the knife down on the table. The soft clink of metal against ceramic echoed in the terrifying quiet of the room. Then her hand reached out, so slowly, so gently, and traced the faint scar on my wrist, the one from the accident. Her eyes, fixed on mine, were colder than the deepest part of Miller's Lake. My brother. Ours. I looked from Lily's gleaming eyes to Brooke's chilling gaze. There was no guilt, no love, only an absolute, consuming possession. And something else, something so utterly dark, so predatory, I'd never even dared to imagine it. I took a shallow breath, feeling my lungs seize up like they were filling with ice. I knew, with a sickening certainty, that I couldn't run, I couldn't escape. Lily stood up, moving towards me, her smile widening, revealing perfectly white teeth. But it wasn't the radiant smile of my sister anymore. It was the smile of a hunter. "You'll stay with us forever, won't you, brother?" I couldn't answer. My mouth was dry, tasted like ash. I looked out the window. The rain was still falling, thick and heavy. Yeah, still raining. And my life? It had just started to fall apart. Lily and Brooke stood there, their eyes locked on me, waiting. I didn't know what to do. I felt like a puppet, strings taut, or a rat in a meticulously designed trap. I knew with every frozen cell in my body that this was just the beginning.